Hi everybody, it's Mr. D. I finally got around to doing a rounding lesson with you. So let's get started. I have here this nice little poster and it says round the mountain, and if you look at the numbers here, they almost make like a mountain or a type of a hill, and I've got a pack horse here at the very top. That you might, if you were a settler way back when, you might have used this to help climb the mountain. And here we have the words that say round down and the words that say round up. Okay, so let's say that I gave you a number. I'm just finding a good one to start with. Let's say that I had this, and it said round to the nearest 10, and my number is 83. There's a few different steps that we could take. The first step is this. Identify the place. You all remember place value, I'm sure. Let me set this aside. And I have some labels here so that we can identify the place of our digits. This is the ones place. Remember, the one to the next of it is our tens place. The question said round to the nearest 10. So I need to identify my place. That means I need to find this digit. My 8 is in the tens column. My second step now is to look next door. So I'm going to look to the right of the tens column over here at the ones. The third step says, is it 4 or less? Let it rest. Round down. So I'm looking at the ones digit. Is it 4 or less? I think so. And another cool thing is, let me move these away from our mountain here, from our round the mountain. And I could also find my digit on here. And it is not past the peak of the mountain. In fact, it's over here. So it is 4 or less. That means that I need to round down. So my new number, my rounded number, let's see, I'll use a blue marker for this. So I'm going to round down. That means that I keep this digit the same in my rounded number. And this number becomes a 0. Now, we've got this rounded, and we can also check on our number line. I'm at home in my garage and I forgot to bring my number line home, but I do have a meter stick, and I'm sure that we can find this along my meter stick. So I'm going to find the number 83. I hope that you can see this. Here's the number 83, and it is between, actually let me use my marker to point to the 83. 83 is between 80 and 90. And it is closer to 80. It looks like we rounded down to 80. We rounded down to the closer number. Let's try another one. How about the number 47? Our instructions say round to the nearest 10. I remember step 1 from earlier said, identify your place. That's talking about place value. So I know this is my ones column, and this is my tens place. I'm rounding to the nearest 10. Step 2 says to look next door. So I'm going to look to the right of the tens column now, over here at the ones. Step 3 says, is this number 4 or less? Let it rest and round down. Is 7 less than 4? 4 or less? No, it is not. That means I'm not going to round down. Instead, I'm going to go to my next step, and it says, is this 5 or more? Raise the score and round up. Let me clear these out of the way. Or I could also look at my mountain here, and I found the 7 is over on this side of the mountain now. And this also says that I need to round up. What does that mean? That means I'm going to go back to my tens place, and I'm going to add 1 to it. So it's going to go from a 4 up to a 5. This digit becomes a 0. Now, if I wanted to check again on my number line, I need to find 47 on my number line. There it is. And I'll point to that with my marker. So 47 is between 40 and 50. Which number is it closer to? It is closer to the 50. We said 47 rounded to the nearest 10 would be 50. Good job. Let's try another one. Here is the number 65. Our instructions say round to the nearest 10. I'll get my steps back out again. Step 1, identify your place. They're talking about place value, and we know that this is our ones place. This is our tens place. Step 2 says look next door. Remember, we're rounding to the nearest 10, and I look one place to the right or next door at my ones digit. Let me move this over here. Step 3 says, is it 4? Is this 4 or less? Let it rest. Round down. This is not 4 or less. And also, if we looked at our round the mountain poster, we would see that the number 5 is on this side of the mountain. That brings us to the next step, which says, is this digit 5 or more? Raise the score, round up. This is 5 or more. In fact, it's equal to 5, and that means that we are going to round up. So that means I need to go back to my tens digit, and I'm going to add 1 to it. 6 plus 1 is 7, and I will put a 7 over here, and this becomes a 0. I should check again with our number line. Let me get my meter stick back out. Now I need to find the number 65. And if you look here, I'll point my marker tip to it again. 65 is exactly halfway between 60 and 70. And the rounding rules say that if we are exactly halfway, we always round up. And that kind of makes sense with what we see on our mountain here too. From 0 to 4, we round down. From 5 to 9, we round up. From 0 to 4, we round down. From 5 to 9, we round up to the nearest 10. And that would be 70. Good job.